Hello, everyone. Today, welcome to Krista Spiritual Talks. Today, we have Loretta Green, who is a Reiki Master Teacher, Oracle card reader, and intuitive coach, and also owns a clinic. And I'm going to have you describe a little bit about what you do at
Sure.
your.
Thank you, Krista. It's wonderful to be here, and hello to all your viewers. Yes, I am a Reiki Master Teacher. I also own a wellness clinic in Oakville, Ontario. We offer services such as naturopathic care, osteopathy, registered massage therapy, Reiki, and all round holistic healing. So, yeah,
That's a lot of accomplishments, and
it
I
is.
can tell you're not that old. So, usually there's a turning point. Were you always in holistic healing, or was there? Okay.
No, actually, I worked for one of the major banks here in Canada for 13 years, and I it I always delved in my spirituality and my healing. It started with Reiki, and an opportunity came around that my husband and I decided, why not? This is what we wanted to do. I was unemployed because I had quit my job with the bank at the time, so
Mhm.
I thought, and I wanted to grow my business, and I thought this was a really, really good way to do so. So it really incorporated both. But yeah, no, I definitely a career change.
Exactly. Uh, and it sounds like a lot more passionate than banking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, much so.
So how long ago was that you started this journey?
So we purchased in December 2023, or sorry, 2022. So we took
Okay.
over January 2023. So it's just been over 2 years.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been quite a journey. It has been. Like, I've met some really amazing people and great practitioners who really care about what they do and how they serve their clients and the people that they want to help. And everybody I meet is passionate about healing and helping others.
So you have a clinic. Do you also
Yes.
have your own business separate from? Okay. So when you talk
I
about.
kind of incorporate the two, but like I do have my business separate. I do see clients in the clinic, but I do other things outside of the clinic because sometimes it can be a little too woo for
Yeah.
for our clinic personnel.
Well, that's good that you have different stages because everybody's at a different state of consciousness, so
Yes,
you can meet them where
exactly.
they're at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you described the clinic, but just so I can understand a little bit more, are there other practitioners that work out of the clinic too? Okay.
Yes, yeah, we have quite a few practitioners. We have about 13 practitioners
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Um,
Okay.
Working out of the clinic. Yeah. So, and they all offer different things and they all have different levels of where they're at and what and who they're looking to serve. So it's interesting to see everyone on their own journey.
Right. So I know you already said this, but what kind of offerings, modalities do you have?
So the major ones are naturopathic care. So
Okay.
holistic naturopathic care that way. We have osteopathy, which works with the whole body and the structural components of the body.
I don't know.
And
I've
then
never
we
heard that word before. What is?
no, yeah. So osteopathy is kind of like physio. My osteopath would probably really berate me for saying that because I'm sure I'm diluting it because they do a lot more than that. But for simplistic sake, it does work with the body. So there is the idea, the skeletal
Oh,
structure and
okay.
how that can be imbalanced. Um, they also do some biocranial sacral therapy, so working with the rhythms of the cranial sacral
Hmm. Which is important. It's off
fluids.
the whole body,
Oh
headache,
yeah,
sorts of things.
100%, absolutely. So I've seen a few osteopaths in my time and they have done some amazing, amazing things. I had a concussion and the one in our clinic, he really worked with my head and he helped alleviate a lot of that symptoms that I was suffering from. So
Nice.
plus I'm often clumsy, so he's my go-to.
He puts you back into shape.
He
So,
does. He puts me back in good repair. So
okay. Okay. So you've got naturopath and skeletal work.
Yes. Yeah, we also have psychotherapy. So it really is encompassing mind, body, and soul. So really working holistically with the body on all levels to bring us back to a full state of healing.
So you're in Oakville, Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
And are you the only clinic that offers in that area this type of?
There's quite a few clinics, but they all offer different things. So,
Okay.
like, you will have massage clinics, or you will have physiotherapy clinics or chiropractic clinics. But I think ours is pretty different in the fact that of all the services we offer, they really, really round out to be full holistic services. So,
Okay. So that's wonderful to, have that option. And then your own personal business.
yes,
So you're a teacher for Reiki? You have
yes,
classes? Okay. So those
yes,
that
yep,
might learn energy healing for people that aren't familiar with that.
that's right. Yep.
I think it can be very profound and it's always nice to have options because everybody's going to respond differently to different modalities, you know.
Modalities and even different teachers, I find too, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to feel connected to the person that is offering that energy therapy. And, there's people that might not connect with me, and that's okay. I'm not for everybody, and I know that, and not everybody is for me. So, it really you feel into who the right teacher is at the right time, and I do believe in divine timing.
Mhm. Definitely. And then the oracle card reading. So a lot of people would say tarot card, but you use
Yes.
oracle cards. So can you kind of tell me why you ended up
Yeah.
doing?
So, yeah, like I started with tarot, and I do enjoy the tarot journey. But I find the tarot is more of a fixed system,
Mhm.
whereas oracle cards, it is an interpretation of the subconscious, and it works depending on the author too, and how they see what the messaging is. So there's different levels of oracle cards. I did start out specifically with angel oracle cards. That was kind of where I started, was within the angel realm,
Mhm.
and if a lot gentler, it felt safer for me.
Mhm.
And as I started doing it, I just became more and more in tune with them, and I started collecting a lot. So my collection expanded, and now I use an array of different types of oracle cards from different authors because they each speak to me on a different level. So
So I would
that's why.
imagine when somebody comes in, you have all sorts of toolkits and just whatever
Yes.
you feel intuitively what's needed.
Exactly. Yeah, it's what speaks to me at the time, what card decks kind of jump out at me, and then I feel into the energy of where the person is at and what kind of messaging they need. Sometimes the oracle can be, again, a lot gentler and a lot safer, so versus some of the messaging within tarot where it's, I find, a lot more direct. And sometimes we need that, and I do use the tarot.
Mhm.
But again, it depends on the situation and the time and what I'm feeling.
Right. And then the last one is intuitive coaching. So when you're doing that, are you helping people get through their own blocks in order to connect up? Or okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I studied dream coaching, so working with our dreams and extrapolating our dreams and coming into the hidden messages of our dreams. And then that led into actual energy coaching, so reading the energy of a situation, reading the energy of the person and what they're really feeling deep down, of what is their soul concern.
So it
So
sounds
it
like
really comes down to subconscious
right,
beliefs and yeah.
which goes back to psychology and going into because most of what our patterns are in our subconscious, right? We're like an
Exactly.
iceberg. Yeah.
And I only do, like, I can only do so much. So if there is deep, deep seated trauma, then that's where I say, okay, this is beyond my expertise. And this is where I suggest actually seeking a therapist in that way. So, because coaching can go really, really far, but there are some limitations with coaching.
Well, it sounds like ethically, you have a very ethical
Absolutely. Yeah.
practice, which I think
I try.
well, it's important, you know what I mean? And the ones that I'm promoting on my channel, basically handpicking in that way, because I do want to promote that, because I think there sometimes people have a fear around working with this realm, because it's not always that way. So
Yeah. Yeah. There, unfortunately, there are people out there that can manipulate and take advantage of situations. So
yeah.
we try and avoid that. And we certainly want to give ourselves a better name than that.
So if you were going to identify your motivation behind what you do, how would you describe that?
So really it comes in to connecting back to the self. My journey has been a long inner journey of working with my mind, working with my thoughts, and working with my deep fears and souls, and um, figuring out what my purpose is, for one, and then promoting that purpose. And I do feel that a lot of humans where we are now are really disconnected from their soul, from their self. So in my healing, I help with people find that voice again so they can reclaim that inner power. So it's not anything I do, I just remind people the inner power that they have. And that's really where I've been focusing, is that I'm not doing anything special. I'm showing people the way back to themselves, essentially.
Self-empowerment. Yeah.
Self-empowerment, 100%.
Well, and I think a lot of people relate to, they probably look at you and like, wow, she's got all these gifts and it's really got it together. But I think a lot of times on this path, there are struggles, and that's how we learn. What do you think, what do you think's been your biggest challenge in getting to where you are right now?
Plenty of challenges, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like I do live a very privileged life. I've had opportunities given and handed to me that I know a lot of people wouldn't have. So I do want to acknowledge that. But I also think that there was a lot of work put into it. And I'm now in my early 40s and I've been recently diagnosed with ADHD. So understanding that I've overcome a lot of obstacles along the way and a lot of challenges. But it's the dedication back to myself of where I want to see and what I want to see accomplished in myself. So I think anybody can certainly do hard work and put in the effort, but taking the time to spend with themselves and really understanding what they want
Mhm.
and what that means to them.
Mhm. So, do you have psychology in your background, or uh,
I have basic psychology. I never actually, my degree is actually in history.
okay.
So, and actually, I'm a certified adolescence teacher. I can teach anywhere from K to 12. So I have teaching as my background, but I did take some basic psychology courses while I was in university, but I decided against going the psychological route. But I study in my own time, and I read a lot.
Not that
So,
it matters, because that's its
no,
own box too, but
yeah,
I was just wondering, I'm just curious, like
yeah.
the type of clients that come your way, obviously there has to be a certain amount of readiness or pain. What do you find is the motivating factor? And it could be varied, I don't know, right? But is there a common thing, or?
Yeah, it's usually a real traumatic event that's occurred, and they're looking to kind of come out of that now. Like they've gone through the muckiest of it, but there's still things kind of lingering, and they're noticing behaviors and patterns that they want to overcome. So it's just kind of that further step forward to that healing and breakthrough of grief and trauma that they feel is keeping them stuck.
Mhm. Well,
And that's what I've noticed. Yeah.
this is wonderful, because I think in the last, I would even say 25 years, it used to be maybe there was mental health counseling, but not a,
Yes.
I don't know how old you are, but not a lot of other options, right? And that was, I think, very frustrating on my own personal journey.
And even now, like we do see, like there is more awareness towards mental health and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. We're also seeing it even with males and men counterparts, how men suffer from mental health and the expectations placed on men. But I still believe there's a long way we can go. I think we it's not quite where I like it, but I'm happy about the trajectory, and I do have faith and hope that we will be in a better spot in years to come.
Exactly. And I'm not putting down mental health because I think it's very valuable. It
Oh
was
yeah, yeah,
not
no, no,
the option, right? And
yeah,
sometimes there's more needed, especially with trauma that's stored in the body. So
yeah.
I'm really happy about seeing all these different modalities that you're offering. So I'm
Thank you.
it's really nice to see that seems to be popping up all over. Anything that I haven't talked about that you would like to discuss or
Honestly, I think, what I've seen of your channel and how you're interviewing and meeting these people, I think that's just an amazing thing. You're gathering like-minded souls and you're putting it out into the universe and showing where we could be. And I think that's the most important thing is that we have an opportunity now to kind of really decide on what we want
Mhm.
from a human race and how we want to move forward and how we want to be and how we want to act. And I think the more we call out to people, I think they will see it and feel it in their heart and in their soul and in themselves to answer that call.
Yeah.
So that's my wish, that's my hope.
Well, thank you. And that's my hope too, is to give a voice to those that are doing this work and networking and making it stronger. And so people can be aware that there are options because a lot of people have no idea, to be honest.
I agree. I agree. It's like even on a day-to-day basis, like there's still some hesitancy because people don't know what they're getting into, and there's still a lot of I think bias around what healing can be done. Some people don't believe in it, and they think it's manipulation or it's a scam. And then there's people that fear it because they don't know it, or upbringings through religion, and anything outside of that religion is considered evil. But it's not. It's really, again, like I said at the beginning, that learning to connect into your inner power so you're not giving that away and you're connecting back to yourself and making choices, making conscious choices of how you want to live, because you have an opportunity to choose your life. So why not?
Exactly. And a lot of what you're talking about is mindfulness and
Yes.
deep
Oh,
breath.
yes. Yeah, I do a lot of mindful work. And part of my other work, like with my El Green, is more of that inner work. So there is ritual work, there is mindfulness, there is working with the moon and the moon cycles. So one would say it's witchery, and I claim it. I do consider myself a witch, but some
We are
people might
connected
be,
to the
yeah.
cycles on this earth.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Connecting back to nature, because I do feel very, very strong connection to nature and the cycles and that balance. And I think also that's kind of where we've seen a lot of our strife as humans, and we feel so disconnected from our nature.
Mhm.
So,
True. And on that segment to the audience, I've recently started this channel and my hope is to empower people. So if somebody listening has an idea that they think would be, good moving forward, please put it in the comments. They're open.
yeah,
Um, this has been wonderful.
thank you.
I really enjoy meeting like-minded people. So and it just kind of warms my heart to see people doing this.
Good. We're out there. We are out there. So it's just,
Yeah,
finding us all and coming in together. So yes.
this is wonderful. Well, thank you, Loretta. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Much
Okay,
love to you and your viewers.
thank you. Bye-bye.